Welcome into KCTV5 Plus on this Friday. I'm Janae Hancock here with Sharon Chen. Sharon, how's it going?
Oh, it's going good. It's Friday and it's a beautiful day outside, so we have no complaints.
Oh, it has been beautiful the past couple of
Oh
days.
my
I walked
gosh,
out
tell me about
yesterday and I'm like, it kind of feels like spring going into summer a little bit.
Yeah, and here we are in November.
November.
Right.
It's a tease, though. It's a tease. I know there's a big
Yes.
change coming. So we will have meteorologist Stevie Stevenson. She'll break down your forecast for today and for the weekend in just a moment. But we do want to go over your news headlines as far as what you need to know today. So with the government shutdown in the rearview mirror, Missouri families who depend on food assistance can breathe just a little bit easier this morning. The state says all SNAP recipients will get their full November benefits. If you only received a partial payment, the rest is coming automatically. You don't need to do anything. As for Kansas, Governor Laura Kelly said the funds were sent out last week. You can check your EBT card balance by calling the number on the back of your card.
Right, and as we move forward, as federal funding gets cut by the Trump administration, Kansas City is looking for a way to fill the gap. So what's happening here is leaders are working on a regional relief fund. Now, this would provide services like food pantries and housing assistance, which federal cuts affected. Now, council members are submitting a plan to the city manager for review.
And Hy-Vee has also stepped up by offering nearly 1 million low-cost or free meals during the government shutdown. KCTV5's Betsy Webster went to their Blue Spring store and shares the impact of this 2-week-long effort.
What's been happening here daily with low cost and free meals has turned into something bigger as ordinary people have stepped up to grow the giving. And when that happens, it feeds the soul too.
It was initiated by the government shutdown. There you go. Thank you very much. Thanks, guys. Have a good night.
It's $3 a plate, free for kids 12 and under. The first day, someone offered to pay for 120 meals.
Thank you, guys. Have a great night.
The next day, someone made 300 of them free.
We were both teachers in the district, and the thought of our kids coming to school hungry, going home hungry is legitimately terrifying.
It's very heartwarming. It reminds me of what Kansas City does for our people. Win, lose, or draw, we're here to stick together, and we help each other out whenever we need it.
She told us they have been serving between 600 and 650 meals a day at this Blue Springs location alone. And company-wide, Hy-Vee tells us that they have been selling or distributing more than 90,000 meals a day. In Blue Springs, Missouri, Betsy Webster, KCTV5 News.
All right, so in the face of the government shutdown, here's some good news. Federal workers in Kansas City, they are back on the job after more than a month off. One IRS employee shared their excitement walking back into the building. But the workers, though, they are still worried about their financial security.
It's like people are like, oh my gosh, it's so good to see you. Like there's a lot of joy about coming back. There's a subtle undercurrent of wondering when we're going to get paid because that information's not known yet, but people are very glad to be back.
And under the Government Employee Fair Treatment Act of 2019, agencies are required to issue paychecks as soon as possible. So hopefully that will get resolved soon and workers will be fully back to work.
No, for sure. And you know what? We are learning more about the off-duty Whiteman Air Force Base airman accused of killing his neighbor. The tragedy hit Warrensburg on Wednesday. Police say that Glizwa Ingram shot Tony Barron during a domestic violence incident near Mitchell and Cedar Drive. Barron was driving to help a woman being attacked when Ingram shot him. Ingram later killed himself in a wooded area. Police call Barron a hero.
All right, now let's get to some Kansas City news. We're finding out some information about a case that we covered extensively, and that is former city manager Brian Platt. We now know how much Kansas City is paying the former city manager that it fired. Brian Platt will get $192,000 in a settlement. The payment stems from accusations that Platt directed his staff to mislead the media. And this deal also bans Platt from ever working for the city again.
Local churches are responding to increased immigration raids with a message of hope and mercy. The One Church, One Family movement brought hundreds together for prayer at Washington Square Park. Catholic leaders representing 300,000 area residents are calling for more humane enforcement after recent ICE arrests at local businesses. One participant who brought his children to the event explains what this means to him, and one participant and we're going to hear from him now.
Makes me optimistic for humane and just solutions to some of these problems that we're going through as a country and as communities.
Now, there will be a Rosary for Immigrants prayer event on December 12th. We'll be sure to keep you all posted on that.
Okay, this one's interesting. We talk about copper thefts, and this is something that's happening nationwide. Okay, well, there is a new security force with one mission here in Kansas City, and that is stopping copper thieves. The Jackson County prosecutor says copper thefts are at an all-time high. So what this team is doing is they are working to protect your home and businesses from these costly crimes. The numbers are staggering. Copper thefts are up 3,000% since 2018. 3,000%. That is tremendous. Well, we are hearing from businesses that have been hit with damages of nearly $10,000 each. KCTV5's Chandler Watkins is getting a behind-the-scenes look at the new effort to bring those numbers back down.
We deployed to a group of car dealers here in the KC Metro. Within 3 weeks, we prevented the theft of a Corvette.
Thomas Carey is with Titan Protection, based out of Overland Park. He says they typically use drones in coordination with security on the ground. Here's how it works. The drone will leave its docking station and has an effective range of over 150 acres. A pilot monitors it from miles away with a live camera and controls the drone. From businesses to schools, we've seen thousands of dollars of copper stolen in the metro. While a drone wouldn't work for every situation, Carey says drone use is growing and expanding.
It is a tool of the future. We will see more and more out there and more getting used for different reasons.
Reporting in Overland Park, Chandler Watkins, KCTV5 News.
Now, we do want to move along to a safety alert this morning, as Kansas City leaders have several new measures in place to crack down on problematic areas where crime just keeps happening. So these are the key takeaways. A single violent incident will trigger a review. If another qualifying incident happened in the last 6 months, it only takes 5 non-violent offenses within 6 months for a property to be classified as a chronic nuisance. Before, that number was 7. Property owners facing violent offense allegations have 10 days to come up with a plan to correct the issues. Before that, it was a full month. The city is also broadening out where they collect complaints from to get a better idea of the crimes actually happening. Property owners who do not comply with these new rules will get a hearing before the Chronic Nuisance Board. The board will determine what happens after that.
All right, now we want to get to some honors for those who protect and serve in our community. Local law enforcement who respond to our calls for help. They received recognition for their work. It included 2 fallen officers remembered for their sacrifice with a high honor. KCTV5's Lauren Magarino takes us to the award service.
When you dial 911, these are the faces that respond, knowing each call could be their last. These officers and deputies receiving awards for their courage in the face of danger. Like Jared Timbrook with Lee Summit Police, awarded Officer of the Year.
Nah, I'd do it again.
A suspect shot him when he responded to a domestic violence call in June. His ballistic vest saved his life.
I'm not the same person not doing this job. I'm happier with my life. I'm happy with everything, doing this, helping my community and everything like that. So yes, I would definitely do this again in a heartbeat.
The Metropolitan Chiefs and Sheriffs Association recognizing that bravery at the 54th Annual Awards for Valor with a standing ovation. And honoring the ultimate sacrifice of 2 fallen officers, Wyandotte County Sheriff's Deputy Elijah Ming and Kansas City, Kansas Officer Hunter Simoncic. Their respective families left to receive Officer of the Year awards on their loved ones' behalf.
I'm the proudest youngest brother there could be. I look at him as a hero. He is a hero to Wyandotte County and Kansas City.
I think it is a great honor that Hunter would be receiving this award. I know if he was here, he would love this kind of stuff and love to be here and love the attention and that sort of thing.
Also bittersweet for officers like Timothy Lemansky. He received the Good Award after he responded to the domestic violence call that killed Deputy Ming.
There's no words. It's only emotions.
And patrolmen Terrell Hearn and Logan Johnson, who helped catch the suspect accused of killing Officer Simoncic in a police chase.
Receiving the award's great, but I just wish I still had my coworker and my friend back. At the end of the day, though, I'm glad that we got that suspect into custody, and he's going to face the consequences, which he deserves.
The cost of courage for safer communities.
Well, Officer Tim Burke, who you heard in Lauren's story there, who was shot in the line of duty and survived, he actually uses a cane now, and he says he is doing physical therapy, and he hopes to be back on the Lee Summit Force by the end of spring next year.
You just get chills watching that story
really
and hearing from them as well. We do want to move on to something that I know a lot of people are looking forward to this weekend, myself included. It is Red Friday in Chiefs Kingdom, but in just a couple days, the Chiefs will meet the Denver Broncos on the road. The Chiefs are facing a must-win situation. At 5-4, Kansas City's 9-year streak of AFC West titles is on the line against the 8-2 Broncos. A loss would put the Chiefs in a deep hole in the division race. The Broncos defense leads the league in sacks, and on the other side of the ball, quarterback Bo Nix presents some unique challenges as well.
Those guys are always a little bit of a headache because even when you're right in what you're doing, he can make you look bad by making you miss. It's a race to win 10 games, or win as many as you can, and then see if that gets you in the playoffs after.
Alrighty, so it's going to be a must-watch game, and our team is headed to Denver, Colorado. Katie Marr and Mark Paulos will bring you live coverage all weekend long, and that leads up to Sunday's 3:25 kickoff, which you can watch right on KCTV5. Sharon, this is going to be a good one. I'm excited about it.
I'm so excited about it. It is going to be a really fun game to watch. Yeah.
And you know what? We'll have some nice weather for it
Yes.
as well.
I mean, this weekend is going to be stellar. It'll be perfect
to get out and have those tailgates and everything else. Enjoy the game. And speaking of our weather, we have meteorologist Stevie Stevenson coming up next with a better look at your weekend forecast.
I have an absolutely beautiful Friday and weekend forecast for you here, and also when we could find rain making its way back to our neck of the woods, all in your First Warn 5 forecast. So let's jump right into it. If you haven't stepped outside yet today, please go outside, see the sunshine, and feel those unseasonably warm temperatures that are going to keep us comfortable all day long. Barely even needed a jacket this morning as temperatures only fell to the mid-50s. So that provided us with a pretty high floor to then build off of to have very warm afternoon temperatures. And then we're going to transition into more of an unsettled pattern as we enter next week. That's when we bring in our next First Warn for Thursday as rain chances return, but Thursday is not the only rain chance we have on the board for next week. I'll break all of those down for you here momentarily. First, let's hone in on our Friday. So 76 degrees is that afternoon high today. Probably feels hard to believe. Hard to believe I'm even saying that, but it's mid-November and we're having a bit of this warming trend that we've been dealing with these past couple of days that has brought a spring-like feel and injected it into this work week. And that's after having a very chilly start to the week too. So it's been a real roller coaster in terms of our temperatures. Today we may also find some gusty winds out there from time to time. Gusts of about 20 miles per hour are possible, more so in the evening than any other time. But overall, just gorgeous out there today. Here's where we're at right now, warming up very easily through the 60s. 66 degrees is where we are in Kansas City right now. We're going to push into the 70s right around your lunch hour alongside plenty of sunshine. You can see that out there behind this planter here, just blue skies all around. It's a perfect day. And some of us did have to deal with some visibility concerns this morning. We had some patchy fog development, especially north of the Missouri River and west of I-35. I've seen all those visibilities become restored, so that's not something that we need to worry about anymore. And that's what we had mentioned this morning, was that that was going to start to mix out of the atmosphere by the time we reach the late morning hours, which we have. So we're right on schedule there. Weekend ahead, dry, warm, and nice. Those are kind of the three things you need to know about this weekend. While it will bring some changes from time to time, overall, since we're already so warm, a cold front on Saturday is not even going to take us back to the seasonable 50s. We'll still be in the 60s by your Sunday. Then next week is when we bring back that rain chance, that more unhappy pattern in our atmosphere that's going to cause for not quite as beautiful or as calm of a week as the one that we are enjoying right now. So take advantage of this weekend. As I mentioned, it's going to be warm out there, but also breezy at times. And that's because a cold front will roll through on your Saturday. And then we have a whole different weather maker that brings about this next First Warn next Thursday. So there's a lot of time to get through between now and then. And of course, we'll continue to keep ironing out the details for you because a lot can still change with that rain chance. But the whole point of First Warning is getting you ahead of the curve. Reminder, high today, 76 degrees here in Kansas City, but overall, no matter where you drive or no matter where you go in this general area today, it's going to be feeling pretty similar in the mid-70s elsewhere. And area-wide, we're talking temperatures that are 20 degrees warmer than where we should be for this time of year. But that is the complete opposite situation from what we had on Monday with an afternoon high of only 37 degrees. That was when we were 20 degrees cooler than where we should be for this time of year. So it's been temperature whiplash to say the least. And as we've navigated these past 3-4 days or so, you can see in the numbers themselves that steady warming trend that we had been talking about. And now that warming trend is bringing this very, very nice and beautiful spring-like afternoon in the mid-70s today. Now, if you're not the biggest fan of the 70s, maybe it's pushing it, maybe you want that fall feel, we'll have a better fall-like feel when we get to Sunday. So that's because of this cold front that will roll through quietly and with no rainfall associated with it on your Saturday. Saturday does look to be a bit cooler, but you're not likely to notice it. Really, in the grand scheme of things, it's only a couple degrees. Afternoon forecast high on your Saturday, 73. Still warm, still very unseasonably warm, still close to 20 degrees warmer than where we should be, but that cold front is what's going to bring changes as we roll over into your Sunday morning. That first change we'll notice is going to be breezy winds on your Saturday night. So that's something you'll have to deal with if you're trying to get out and about, but it's not going to slow you down or really ruin any plans at all. It's just something to be mindful of. Then on your Sunday, that's when we take those temperatures down to the 60s again, but it's still going to be a nice day. I know we're really hyping up Friday and Saturday and these 70-degree temperatures, but Sunday, really, really nice. So either day you want to get out and about, all your weekend plans are looking good to go and are looking dry too, which is something that we haven't been able to say a whole lot recently. Here's a look at those wind gusts and that windiness potential to your Friday evening I talked about. We're talking gusts up to about 20, maybe 25 miles per hour. That's later on tonight. Winds are going to be their strongest overnight into Saturday morning before then calming down and then picking back up Saturday evening. That's when we can start to find gusts to 20 to 25 miles per hour possible again. But overall, the breeziness of Saturday has really trended backwards. This is looking a lot more calm and still when we compare it to wind gusts that we were potentially going to find before we started to get more high resolution data in. So that's your weekend, breezy, nice, sunny, and dry. But then Monday, we find our next shot at rain. That comes in at a 30% chance. We're looking at scattered showers then. Monday was previously first warned, but it no longer has a first warn tag on it because that rain chance has greatly trended downwards. So that's really good news if you were a bit worried with maybe any of those outdoor plans or things you needed to do on your Monday. We'll dry out into Tuesday after maybe a couple scattered showers on Monday evening. Wednesday, we bring back a rain chance, but then Thursday is bringing our next greatest shot at rain and the more impactful chance for rain there. So that's at a 50% for your Thursday. We brought this first warn for Thursday in yesterday. So if you're just now hearing about this, still pretty fresh out there. First warn in place for that 50% chance of rain. We're continuing to monitor the impacts. Of course, this is way far out. This is close to 7 days out from where we are now. So there's a lot that can happen with our weather models and our forecasting as we wait for the system that would bring this rain chance to form. Once that does form, that's when we're going to get a lot more information just about early next week. But for now, we just want to flag you on this really early so you can begin to think ahead on what this rain chance would mean for you, your family, or your plans next Thursday. Then, even here on the map, you can start to see this unsettled pattern that we're going to be slipping into next week. Instead of high pressure, which keeps us dry and calm and sunny, we're going to enter into something that has a little bit more repetitive rain chances. That's where Monday evening's rain chance comes in. You can see that rain there on your screen. We dry out into Tuesday before rain chances come back on Wednesday, but here you're about to see why Thursday has the higher rain chance. If we play this out in time, that was Wednesday. Now we bring in Thursday. Much larger and more stubborn system is what is going to try to bring us that Thursday rain chance. It's very clear when you look at the data yourself why Thursday has a greater shot at rain, but of course we will continue to iron out those details for you. But I do want you to know any rain that we could get is going to be very helpful to our environment. Yesterday we got the latest issuance of the United States Drought Monitor that still holds severe drought throughout the Kansas City metro. It's been a long time since we've seen drought this bad, especially in the heart of Kansas City. So we really do need the rain. We are very much behind schedule. We're about 5 inches short of the rainfall that we should have received by this point of the year as a whole. So year-to-date rainfall is down. We really need to start picking that back up. But we do have a couple rain chances next week that will try to throw a bit of rain our way, which we, again, really desperately need. So enjoy this beautiful and dry weekend ahead before we do start to take those temperatures down into the 60s Sunday and Monday. Then eventually we'll return closer to seasonable in the 50s Tuesday onwards. That's also where we're greeted with bigger rain chances, namely on Thursday in that first warn too. We'll continue to update you on what Thursday's rain chance and maybe even thunderstorm potential looks like as we get even more data into the First Warn 5 Weather Center. But for now, again, enjoy this weekend. I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your Friday.
Welcome back into KCTV5 Plus. We're going to jump straight into your national news headlines. After a 43-day shutdown, parts of the federal government are returning back to normal, and the Trump administration is rewarding some government workers who stayed on the job despite not getting paid. CBS News' Jared Hill has more from New York.
For the first time in weeks, Smithsonian museums, the U.S. Capitol, and national parks are welcoming visitors. Federal workers back on the job after the longest government shutdown in U.S. history.
Happy to be back in office and see the people in the streets and see the city life again.
The White House says more than 1 million federal employees who were not paid will start receiving back pay as early as Sunday.
I hope we can all agree that the government should never be shut down again.
Nearly 2 days since President Trump signed the bill to reopen the government, some are questioning if the fight, which Democrats say was over health care subsidies, was worth it.
They didn't really win what they wanted to win, so why causing all this pain?
Food aid could start flowing as soon as today for the 42 million Americans on SNAP. At the nation's airports, the journey to normal likely to spill into the weekend.
It's cleared up, so thank God for that.
It's important that the government does their job.
The FAA paused flight reductions at 6% instead of ramping up to 10%, with the shutdown now over. Meanwhile, Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem says TSA agents who went above and beyond will get a $10,000 bonus.
They're going to get a bonus check for stepping up, taking on extra shifts, for showing up each and every day.
President Trump has also suggested bonuses for the air traffic controllers who worked without pay while the government was closed. Jared Hill, CBS News.
Okay, so we've covered this many times, which is redistricting. We covered that in Missouri, and then now there's efforts in Kansas. Well, now President Trump is suing California to stop redistricting. I think you know the recent election, there was a proposition that passed allowing redistricting in California. Well, the Trump administration took action Thursday to challenge California's effort to redraw the state's congressional maps ahead of the 2026 midterm elections. We just said last week, California voters approved that ballot measure supported by Governor Gavin Newsom. Well, the measure allows state Democratic lawmakers to replace congressional lines drawn by the state's independent commission with new ones. Now, that would make 5 U.S. House seats more favorable for Democrats after the Prop 50 ballot measure had passed. The California Republican Party and others raced to court to try to block the redistricting effort. The Trump administration's involvement signals a dramatic escalation in the legal challenge.
In just a matter of days, the House could vote on releasing files related to the government's investigation on Jeffrey Epstein. This following a bipartisan call for transparency this week, and after the House Oversight Committee on Wednesday released a new batch of Epstein's private emails, which mentioned President Donald Trump multiple times. Now, the president has consistently denied any wrongdoing, calling it all a hoax. CBS's Jared Hill has those details.
President Trump declining to speak about Jeffrey Epstein Thursday after his name appeared hundreds of times in newly released records and messages from the convicted sex offender. The emails and texts involving Trump include Epstein saying that he'd met some bad people, none as bad as Trump, and that Trump once left his nose print on the glass as young women were swimming in the pool, and he was so focused he walked straight into the door. In another, Epstein said Trump knew of it and came to my house many times during that period, but never got a massage. Wednesday night, Trump called the Epstein scandal a hoax. The president has long denied knowing of Epstein's crimes and has never been charged with any wrongdoing in connection to Epstein. White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt accused Democrats of selectively leaking emails to smear the president.
They actually don't care about the victims in these cases. They care about trying to score political points against President Trump.
Next week, the House is set to vote on a bill that would force the Department of Justice to release all files and communications related to the government's investigation into Epstein. Annie Farmer is an Epstein survivor.
This is always something that survivors have wanted, is more information about what went wrong here. Why didn't we see justice?
Republican Congresswoman Lauren Boebert supports the bill, though Wednesday the Attorney General and FBI Director personally lobbied the Colorado representative to change her mind. Jared Hill, CBS News.
Now, despite efforts from the White House, there appears to be enough votes to clear the bill in the House, putting pressure on the Senate to do the exact same. It would then go to President Donald Trump, who would veto the effort.
Okay, mortgage rates rose for the second week in a row after reaching the lowest level of the year. According to Freddie Mac, the 30-year fixed mortgage averaged 6.24% for the week ending Thursday. That was actually up slightly from the previous week, where mortgage rates had been steadily falling in the weeks leading up to the Fed's second rate cut of the year. Late last month, they've held mostly steady since then as investors weigh the Federal Reserve's next move.
And you can sock away more for retirement next year with the IRS announcing higher contribution limits for retirement plans. It's increasing the 401k limit by $1,000. The same increase applies to 403bs, governmental 457 plans, and the federal government's thrift saving plans. It is also raising the catch-up contribution limit for those 50 and older by $500. Additionally, it is raising the limit on both types of the IRA by $500.
Okay, if you have AT&T for your phone service, you might want to listen to this. Excuse me. Millions of current and former AT&T customers may qualify for part of a $177 million class action settlement. This comes after two major data breaches last year exposed personal information. The breaches are believed to have affected more than 70 million people between 2019 and 2024. According to the settlement, the breach in March 2024 released customers' addresses, social security numbers, and passcodes on the dark web. A second breach in July 2024 exposed call and text records. Customers impacted by both data breaches could receive up to $7,500. AT&T does not dispute the incidents happened, but they do deny any wrongdoing.
Okay, Sharon, this next story is pretty interesting. I've seen it all over social media actually this morning. So iPhone users now have a new way to present identification at U.S. airports. Digital ID and Apple Wallet is now being tested at TSA checkpoints at more than 250 airports right here in the U.S. Apple says that you create the ID using your valid U.S. passport. It works even if you do not have a real ID compliant driver's license or state ID.
What?
The launch follows the compatibility for users to add an eligible driver's license and state ID to Apple Wallet. Digital ID does not replace a physical passport. It cannot be used for international travel or border crossings.
But wait a minute.
You have so many questions.
So many questions.
I have some
Didn't
follow-ups.
we have to get a real ID compliant driver's
just
license?
a few months ago.
Yeah, so what does this mean? That's obsolete?
You know, I think they're trying to make, it's confusing. It's very confusing. But looking at this, they're trying to make it more convenient when you're going through TSA.
Okay.
But there are some questions.
Yeah.
As to
Many
questions. We'll follow up.
Yeah, we will. We'll get back to you on this. All right, Janae, do you like Cheetos, Doritos, those chips?
I love Doritos. Not a big Cheetos person, though.
Not a big, is it because of the orange dust?
I think so. The perfect way to go into this story.
The orange dust that gets everywhere. Well, listen to this. Cheetos and Doritos, they are going naked. Yeah, PepsiCo is launching new versions of the popular snacks that won't have artificial flavors or dyes. So as a result, they will have a natural pale yellow color instead of that bright orange that we're so used to.
Yeah.
The company says that Simply Naked snacks will taste the same as originals, but the originals will still be available. And they'll be available in Doritos, nacho cheese, and Cool Ranch flavors, and Cheetos Puffs, and also the flaming hot flavors that'll also be available on those two, and they will hit the store shelves next month. I guess this kind of reminds me of, what is it, the pirate's booty?
The what?
The pirate's booty.
I just wanted to make sure I heard you correctly.
You know, the snacks, it's like corn snacks. They're pirate's booty, but it's colorless. It's just kind of like
this is very strange
corn.
to me. Yeah, this is very strange to me, because if you look at this, when you see like hot Cheetos, they're red.
Yeah.
And if they look like this,
you're not
kind of throw you off. But it makes sense, you know, with the artificial colors. And why they're getting rid of it. It's just going to take some getting used to. It
It's
looks a little
healthier.
strange.
Just
yeah.
keep in mind, it's healthier.
Yeah, that's all. Just close your eyes when
Yeah.
you're eating it. Okay, so Taylor Swift's Eras tour may be over, but fans can stay in that era just a little bit longer. Thursday, Swift dropped the trailer for her upcoming Disney Plus docuseries, The End of an Era. The preview opens with the behind-the-scenes footage from the tour, setting the tone for a deep dive into how the massive production came together. Swift also reflects on how the show connected tens of thousands of fans each and every night, and how she planned the tour years before it actually launched. The 6-part series promises an inside look at the tour's inner workings and personal moments as well from Swift's life, and that includes glimpses of her relationship with now fiance Kansas City Chiefs tight end Travis Kelce. You may know him, may have heard of him. The first 2 episodes actually debut on December 12th.
Oh,
so
you
a
know
month
Kansas
away.
City is in on that last part right there.
I know.
For sure.
They had to save that for the end.
Yeah.
You always want to look into their life, their relationship. All right. Well, that'll do it for your national news headlines. Here's your Hollywood Minute.
Miss, you're here. Be quite in mascara. Make me look presentable. I've never dyed before. I want to look nice when it happens.
Kate Winslet does double duty in Goodbye June. The Oscar winner makes her directorial debut with the holiday family drama and co-stars with Toni Collette, Andrea Riseborough, and Helen Mirren. Goodbye June opens in select theaters December 12th and debuts on Netflix December 24th.
One of the most remarkable aspects is that you had such different places come together as one nation.
But it wasn't easy. Ken Burns says he and his fellow filmmakers on The American Revolution worked hard to be honest to the actual story they found and not necessarily the version they and most people learned in school.
If you're willing to be disciplined, then all of a sudden you have this origin story that has a complexity to it that may address, without formally doing it, some of the things. Just, we like to say today, oh, we're so divided. Well, we're not as divided as we were during the Revolution.
The American Revolution premieres Sunday on PBS stations. In Hollywood, I'm David Daniel.
My next guest is going to be coming to Kansas City here next week as part of the performance of And Juliet. If you haven't heard about it, don't worry. I guarantee you've read Shakespeare before, right? So you know Romeo and Juliet. Well, this is an imagination of that play if Juliet kept going, so to speak, and it's got a lot of great music in it, and I think you're really going to love it. I'm really excited to welcome my guest here. Welcome Catherine Allison here to the show. Catherine, thank you so much for joining us here this morning.
Thank you so much. I'm so happy to be here.
So this is a very unique play that takes off after, Shakespeare was like, oh, we're done writing this. Let's go ahead and do something else with it. It's got a lot of great music. Let's talk about your character and just kind of how you got to this point first, though, because you have, again, some impressive Broadway credits that include Aladdin, Wicked, Company. What kind of drew you to And Juliet?
Oh man, I mean, what drew me to this musical in particular is the music. This is music I personally grew up listening to. And so when I knew that this musical was happening, I also had a friend who was a part of the music team, music supervising, music direction. And I remember him talking about the show. I'm like, this is amazing. And I can't wait to see what comes of it and to see how it's grown. And the fact that I get to be a part of this beautiful story and this amazing music is amazing, unreal to me, honestly.
Well, let's talk a little bit about your character as Angelique. She's kind of Juliet's confidant, but she has her own storyline a little bit as well. What do you like about playing that role?
I love playing Angelique. I think she's one of the characters of Romeo and Juliet that is so true to the story. So she's the nurse. But what I love about this version is that they give her a backstory and what her life was before she met Juliet. And so she had this glorious rendezvous in her younger years that she gets to relive in this musical. So she meets up with a former partner of hers and they kind of go on this beautiful love journey together. And it's so fun to play every night. And Paul Jordan Jansen and I just have a great time up there.
Well, let's talk a little bit about the music. What's it like to be performing a show that's based off Shakespeare, but you're singing a Kelly Clarkson or a Britney Spears song?
Yeah, I think what's so brilliant about it is that Max Martin, he is the writer of this music, the producer of this music, and I feel like he's the Shakespeare of our modern day. I think he is such a beautiful storyteller with his music, and the fact that he's worked with this wide range of artists that we can all connect to. I mean, there's really something for everybody in this show. And it's fun. I mean, when I found out that I was going to sing Oops, I Did It Again, I feel like a childhood dream has been fulfilled, honestly, that I get to do every night. So it's amazing.
Well, yeah, I come to think of it, I mean, I'm in my mid-40s, so, like, I grew up with the original Romeo and Juliet, and then there was the Leonardo DiCaprio revisit of it, and I feel like this is obviously the next step for the story of Romeo and Juliet, so I'm really looking forward to seeing it when it comes to Kansas City. This is the third PNC Broadway show this season here that's come through for Kansas City, and I think this is the first time that And Juliet is going to come to town, so what do you think Kansas City needs to take away from this show?
I think what Kansas City needs to take away from the show is that you can change your story at any time and take hold of it, grasp it, and as long as your friends and your community is there with you and supporting you, that you can do anything that you want to do. And I think that is one of the beautiful messages of this show. And that honestly, being your authentic self will always be the best way to go through life.
I like that. Very positive, very, very well said. Now, have you been through Kansas City before? Have you performed at the music hall by any chance?
I have not, but I'm really, really excited to come through. I think there's also a Chiefs game that weekend, so we're all very excited about the energy that will be in the city. So
well, the cast of Beauty and the Beast went to the Chiefs game when they were in town. So I know it's a Thanksgiving Day game when you guys are here. So are you going to try to round the And Juliet crowd up to go out to Arrowhead?
We'll see. We'll see if we have a show or not. That'll be the kicker. But if not, hopefully we can go because that would be really fun.
So after And Juliet wraps for you, I know you have a record out now too. Is that kind of the next steps for you, or what's the next steps once this show kind of wraps up?
Yeah, that's something that's definitely on the horizon. A friend of mine have been writing some music together, so hopefully maybe after this chapter has ended, I can dive back into that because it's something that I love to do. I love being in the recording studio, and it's also, a perfect meld of this show, the fact that so many of these songs were born in a recording studio. Um, I feel a lot of connection to that.
Yeah, and I mean, again, all of these songs are just smash hits.
Hmm.
Since You've Been Gone from Kelly Clarkson is one of my
Yes.
favorite songs. I got to see her sing it at the Midland Theater, which is just a stone's throw away from where you guys are going to be performing at the music hall. And again, yeah, all these like Backstreet Boys, NSYNC, you're singing
Yes.
songs that have billions of plays on
Yes.
Spotify and the online platforms. That's got to just mean something special to you.
Oh, of course. I mean, I think what's so brilliantly amazing about this musical is the way that they interweave these songs that we all know and love. So the audience is, recalling where they heard Oops, I Did It Again for the first time, or Teenage Dream by Katy Perry, or, Backstreet's Back, and then realizing, oh my God, it's so clever how that they were able to put this in the story that it makes sense and it all flows together. So it's just a really great evening of fun and laughter and just reliving memories that maybe you've forgotten.
Well, I can't wait to see it, and I know I'm bringing my wife. We're going to come out there on Tuesday night to check it
Oh,
out. 8 performances at the Music Hall, November 18th to the 23rd. And I didn't know this. It was created by the Emmy-winning writer from Schitt's Creek. My wife loved
yes.
that show, and she can't
Yeah.
wait to come out and see it based on just that fact alone. Discount all the music that's in it, right?
Yes, yes, yes. I think uh, for those who listen to the scripts, I think you'll see some sort of see some similarities in terms of the show Schitt's Creek and the wittiness and the fast-paced timing. So there's something really for everyone to enjoy.
Well, if Juliet has to fold in the cheese or whatever, I might lose it in the aisle. So, all right. Catherine Allison, it has been absolutely a beautiful time chatting you with this morning. Safe travels from wherever you are now to when you get to Kansas City here next week. We can't wait to see the show. And real quick, if anybody wants to come follow you on Instagram or online or hear the record or anything, tell us how we can do that.
Yeah, you can follow me at Catherine D. Allison on Instagram. And Catherine Allison, you can find Something Real, my album, on Spotify, Amazon Music, or anywhere else that you hear music.
All right, well, we're going to check it out on the drive home from work today. So thank you so much again for your
Yes.
time, and we'll see you here next week.
Bye. Thank you.
Welcome back in to KCTV5 Plus. Though the government shutdown has officially come to an end, I know many of you are still looking for ways to spend less while eating healthy. Johnson County relaunched JoCo Eats to help you do exactly that. And with that being said, joining me now is Chelsea King, who is the nutrition, food safety, and health agent for JoCo Eats. Chelsea, thank you so much for taking the time to sit down with me. How are you doing today?
Good. Thank you for inviting me. This is a great conversation to be had right now, for sure.
Of course. Yes, very timely. So let's jump straight into it, Chelsea. What exactly is JoCo Eats for our viewers who are unaware?
Yeah, so JoCo Eats was started kind of pre-pandemic as a way to provide healthy recipes that are easy, affordable, tasty solutions, hence the EATS acronym. And then it was kind of relaunched and revamped to provide recipes and really give that whole holistic approach from where not only to source local food, but how and what to prepare with it, and even healthy videos on how to prepare like a whole chicken if you get that, or using different foods from pantries that you might get that are shelf stable that you just need to spice it up besides just eating it kind of as you might normally would.
And Chelsea, JoCo Eats was first developed back in 2019 after doing some research. Why was it so important for you all to relaunch this program right now? As you said, it's very timely, especially with everything that's been going on.
Yeah, so right now, everybody's kind of struggling financially. Food costs we know have increased, which puts a strain on people's budget. Not only for those who maybe are on SNAP and then their funding currently they're not able to receive, but everybody. We know it specifically in Johnson County, the cost of housing, childcare, and from that matter, everywhere across the U.S. is increasing. And so food budgets, unfortunately, are getting strapped and tightened up. And so people might be needing assistance from food pantries or other resources. But we want to make sure that those are being healthy meals and using things like canned salmon, which you might not know what to do with, and taking and putting it into a recipe that we have on our JoCo Eats website that's crustless salmon quiche and uses it in a new and interesting way for sure to make it healthy and tasty.
Okay, so I am curious as far as the process is concerned. Can you kind of walk us through how it all works? How do people get involved? How do they learn more?
Yeah, so our website is open for anybody. It's not only Johnson County residents, although we have it called JoCo Eats. It's open for anybody who is looking for healthy recipes that are affordable, minimal ingredients, and is looking for resources that helps them become a little more confident in the kitchen as well. As I mentioned, we have lots of video tips and tricks to help you become more confident, have some how-to guides like how to make your own salad dressing instead of buying it from the grocery store. So people can go to our website, jocoeats.org. They can contact us at foodhelp@jocogov.org. And then they can also just reach out to us. And if they're if a food pantry, for example, we have our master food volunteers that can come and prepare a healthy recipe from our website that gives people the opportunity to taste it. Sometimes we like to taste things before we actually take that journey to make that recipe ourselves. So people can access this through our website and through our email address.
I love the fact that you clarify that it's not just for Johnson County residents. You guys aren't just limiting it to those people, those residents, I should say. So I do want to touch on this. So you touched on the fact that you guys have resources to stretch food budgets and find food assistance. Have you all seen an increase in people looking for more information, especially here lately within the past few weeks with everything going on?
Yes, absolutely. We know that our food pantries are stretched to the max. They've had an increase. One local food pantry that I was working with, we're seeing about 10 to 15 Olathe school district families a week, and they've now seen that jump up significantly to 25. So there has been a significant increase in people just needing that extra support. So obviously donations, we can step up our donations to food pantries as well as a community supporting those in need. And then just helping, again, this JoCo Eats is to help provide recipes that even if you aren't accessing food pantry, if your budget is still tight, buying these staple, affordable ingredients from grocery stores and then preparing them at home. Within our website, we also link to other Johnson County resources, so financial assistance with housing or other programs that we know that if you have high cost elsewhere, unfortunately, the food budget tends to go first. So there's other resources available. And so what Extension tries to do as well is we try to just connect people in the community. So if you have questions or needing resources, definitely you can reach out to the Extension office and we'll also help connect you in that direction that you might need to go.
It's not just for food. So Chelsea, if you don't mind me asking, how long have you been involved with Joco Eats?
Yeah, so I've been with the Johnson County Extension Office for about 3.5 years now, and we've been really working on the last year to revamp this website. We have a whole brand new website that takes that holistic approach from not only recipes, but also where to source local food. So we have a list of local community gardens in Johnson County. We have other resources for if you are shopping at the farmer's market. We know that nutritious foods that's grown locally is more affordable when it's in season as well. And so making sure that we're providing that holistic approach of where to get it, whether you're growing it yourself and then converting it into a healthy recipe at home. And, we just want to take that holistic approach because we know that it's not just preparing food. We also have a program in the Extension Office that is called Kitchen Restore, which takes donations from the community on pots, pans, basic essential kitchenware that we then partner out with food pantries and other social services because we know if people don't have the resources to prepare healthy meals, then they're still not going to be able to provide their families with those nutritious foods, even using produce or food that they get from a food pantry.
And the reason I asked how long you've been involved is because I just want to know, what does it mean to you to be able to help the community in this way?
Yeah, I've been in kind of the food world for a long time, and it is one of my passions of helping people find community resources as well as prepare nutritious food. Food is the one common denominator among all of us, no matter where we come from, no matter our age, our ethnicity, what country, our religion. We all are bound together by food. Food is that community piece, and I think we see that as we roll into the holidays, that we gather and we socialize, and food is a really big part of that piece. And so to be able to provide people with food, we know that it not only nourishes our body, but it does so much more for us from a community standpoint to a social to mental health, physical health, and just kind of that dignity piece that goes around with preparing healthy and nutritious meals for yourself or your family.
I completely agree. This is very much needed, especially right here in our community, especially during this hard time for so many different people. So what's next for you all? You talk about the fact that you have revamped your website, but what else can we expect from Joco Eats in the coming months, in the coming years? What is the long-term goal for you guys?
Yeah, so this website is something that we hope becomes a community staple, that it's something that won't just be accessed once, but will be accessed week after week when people try to find those healthy and nutritious website recipes. We'll keep the website updated with new recipes. We will swap out seasonal recipes. So right now we have kind of a seasonal section that focuses a lot on some of those seasonal sweet potatoes and other potatoes and root vegetables that we have available now. Come spring, we'll have lots of recipes on leafy greens and asparagus and what to do with all that. So we will continue to keep our recipe updated. We hope to get out into the community more to share this. So going to food pantries, other social service agencies to provide. We have flyers available. We're there to go out into the community to help educate. So part of our job as myself as the extension agent and our volunteer basis, we go out and educate the community. And it's only so much to see something on a website, but having somebody come do a hands-on class of learning how to cook and feeling more confident, that is a big piece of what we want to instill in people as well, is not only cooking nutritious meals, they can be easy, they can be super healthy, and they can be tasty and not what we can sometimes traditionally think about maybe being boring or healthy foods. So we want to be out in the community and we want people to be contacting us and really having this as a core staple of their daily routines of accessing this Joco Eats for not only recipes, but community resources. We have connections with our K-State. We have a lot of publications that come out from K-State. We will constantly keep information updated from other locations as well. We really want it to be kind of like a one-stop shop. We know that there's lots of information out there and it can kind of be confusing where and who to go to and who to trust. And so our goal is that this is that trusted resource the community members can go to for nutrition, food safety, and health information.
I love what you said there. And I do kind of want you to kind of emphasize on that this is a comfortable space for people to come and share maybe what they're struggling with, what they're concerned about. And then also, if you can just let our viewers know again where they can find more information if they want to get involved, maybe donations, or they would like something that's going to help them.
Yeah, so we know that, nobody likes to admit that they're struggling financially or that food is a struggle. We often know that people, parents specifically, will forego eating just to make sure that their kids have nutritious food. And so we want people to know that they can contact us, they can come to us for information, for resources. And we do have kind of a feedback section on our Joco Eats website, jocoeats.org, that people can contact us whether they are looking for other recipes or struggling to know how to prepare. They get Swiss chard from the pantry. And that's the other thing, is pantries often get things donated that are uncommon to a lot of people who might be visiting the pantries. So pantries can work with us on creating recipes that help to get some of those items off their shelves and helping the families know what to do with them instead of it potentially going into the trash or not being consumed. So again, that whole circle of preventing food waste, nourishing bodies, connecting with local foods and all that stuff. So yeah, our website is jocoeats.org, and people can access us there or reach us at foodhelp@jocogov.org.
And Chelsea, really fast before I let you go, I just also want to touch on the point that, we're a few weeks away, exactly yesterday, 2 weeks away from Thanksgiving. And then following that is Christmas for those who celebrate. So just how important is this type of program right here in our community as we look ahead to the holidays?
Yeah, so we know that the holidays are a busy time for everybody between traveling and stress and everything like that, and that food is often something that is a challenge. And when we're thinking about buying holiday gifts for people and all these different things, so food resources are super valuable right now. If you can donate to local food pantries, right, providing those staple ingredients. And if you are looking for ways to save money over the next few months as you're trying to maybe afford electric bills too, right? It's getting colder, so more expenses are coming up with heating our houses as well as paying for holiday travel or gifts and everything that goes in between that. So using some of our resources just to help stretch your budget for the time being, as you might be a little strapped for money as we wrap into the end of the year. So there's lots of ways to get connected, whether it's through your local pantry, whether it's accessing our website for tips on budgeting, shopping, and also for healthy, easy, affordable, tasty solution recipes.
Chelsea King with Joco Eats. I swear that was my last question for you. Thank you so much for taking the time to sit down and chat with me on KCTV5 Plus. I truly appreciate it.
Thank you. We appreciate it as well.
Of course. We'll be right back after the break.
5 seconds, 5 minutes that you wait is not going to kill you, but it might a child.
You've probably seen it. A car speeding past a stopped school bus, like here in Gardner, Kansas, or here in Fairview, Missouri. The stop arm is out, and an Amazon driver fails to obey the signs and flashing lights.
The important thing is that people just need to pay attention.
It's happened time and time again in Platte County. Here, a car drives past, but this time a Platte City police officer was there right behind the bus and pulls them over. Just one of many growing violations.
Front-facing and rear-facing.
All caught by these cameras. Platte County School District Director of Transportation J.T. Thomas says they just upgraded.
It is such a game changer.
Thomas says the first cameras used during the 2023-2024 school year led to just 7 violation letters sent to the Missouri Highway Patrol. Though this upgrade makes a difference. Since this August, that number is over 90 violations, meaning the technology is getting better, not the drivers. In Missouri, that technology plays a key role, giving law enforcement a better look at the license plate, which helps officers issue violations.
There's a button they can hit that says an incident.
It comes at a cost, anywhere from $600 up to $2,500 for one system.
It's proven well worth it. Well worth it.
If the camera quality is low, so are the chances of catching those responsible. Look at this. On the left is one of Platte County's cameras. On the right is a different camera on a Kansas City Public Schools bus. KCPS contracts with the company Zoom.
We try to pull video when we can, but some of these vehicles are going so fast. We're not even able to catch them on video.
That video is a key factor for Missouri, but in Kansas, it takes more than a camera to catch violations.
I rode along one afternoon route in Gardner for about an hour, and our cameras caught at least 7 people driving past the stop bus.
You can see these 2 cars here on a 2-way road driving past. Or here on Main Street, cars passing on both sides while the stop arm is out. But in Kansas, the law does not address the use of these cameras for traffic enforcement.
Part of it is the law needs to get leveled out first. And I am not convinced that it's there yet.
Without legal authority for the cameras, Gardner-Edgerton Superintendent Dr. Brian Huff says they work with the police department to increase patrols in hot spots.
We have that good working relationship, but we still have a lot of violations.
Gardner police reports only 2 violation letters like this have been sent to drivers this year. Back in Kansas City, the city prosecutor has filed only 8 cases in 2025. Districts say you either need police nearby or have the bus driver who's already juggling kids and traffic to try and get the license plate number.
Couldn't that be difficult for them to get that license plate?
It's incredibly difficult, and you're right. We expect them to do a whole lot.
An incredibly difficult job, but every district agrees safety can't take a back seat.
If you hit one of those kids, you'll kill them. And nobody wants to do that.
The last time Kansas lawmakers really tried to make a change to the law for camera enforcement with stop arm violations was in 2023, but nothing came of it. In Missouri, the most recent push was in 2022. Though district leaders say what's really needed is backing from local law enforcement and stronger laws to make sure that drivers pay for these violations. In Kansas City, Samantha Boring, KCTV5 investigates.